You're 12 years old. A tennis racket is put in your hand. Okay, for whatever reason, you believed that you could be good at tennis. What would it have taken for you, age 12, to believe that you could be academically successful? Like, is there something that somebody could have said to you that would have convinced you?
Well, at 12, I probably already was behind in my schooling. You know, at that time, I didn't know the sound of my ABCs. And, you know, like right now, my son is 3 years old, and he already knows his sounds. My daughter is 2 years old, and she already knows her sounds of her ABCs. And my son at 3, you can put a word in front of him, and he'll break that word down, and he'll tell you what the word is, even though he don't know how to pronounce it. I mean, he doesn't know what the word means or what, but he's learned already how to break a word down. And I believe that we got to get to our children as early as we can, in order to give them that ability to be able to read. At 12, it was too late for me.
Well, there's a great quote. Martin Luther King was at a conference, and there was some woman, it was an NAACP conference, and there was a woman on stage, and she's talking about how important it is if we can just teach these kids to read, like, then they can achieve anything, blah, blah, blah. And Martin Luther King leans over to the person who is sitting next to him and says, yeah, but before you can teach them to read, you've got to teach them to believe in themselves.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the fundamental issue that we're dealing with.
And that's where I was at. It took my celly. What happened when I first started to read, I went to sit down with my attorney, and I'm asking him, why are they trying to give me a life sentence without the possibility of parole? I just sold drugs, you know, and he gives me these 3 pieces of paper, and for the first time in my life, I noticed that I wanted to know what was on a piece of paper. Before that, I never wanted to know what was on a piece of paper. I didn't care. You know, I didn't care why Jack and Jill was going up the hill. You know, Mama was talking about the lights bill needed to be paid. And
you had real life concerns, like where am I going to get my next meal?
Exactly. You know, my tennis shoes got holes in them, and you know, my socks all got the same hole in each one of them because I've been walking on my socks instead of my shoes. So I had real issues, and I believe that if it would have been broke down to me at an early age, that books had the kind of information that could get me out of my situation, I think I would have been much more amped to read.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that the situation has gotten better for, say, African Americans in your neighborhood?
No, I go to my schools and I talk to the kids, and I mean, I've been to ghettos in Philadelphia, Detroit, Chicago, you know, some of the roughest schools in the country, and I talk to them, and I don't think this system gets it yet, you know, that you can't teach somebody that you can't engage. You know, I just spoke to a group of kids the other day, and what they said is that I engaged with them. You know, I understood them, and they engaged with me. So the first thing this system has to do is we have to start engaging with them. We have to make a contact with them where we understand them and they understand us.